I've identified 3 different pillars. First being what I call escape reality. So as a player, we play in an open world, not only to live a story, so not only to live a character story, but probably a fiction which is larger than only the hero story, a fiction which is linked to the world and the universe and what happened to this universe. Is it believable or not? That's the main question. Second pillar is what I call, in terms of player motivation, so human motivation is really curiosity. So there's the fiction, but there's also the aspect of exploration and experimentation. You want to try things, you want to interact, you want to see, you want to observe, you want to look at everything in the world. And third one is really the progression and the fact that you want to feel you progress. I'm going to do that. It's going to be better, I think, yes. The fact that you need to feel that you progress in the game, and obviously when you play in open world games, you want to feel that the world progress, that you progress inside the world. So now I'm gonna take every pillar one after the other, and I'm gonna explain you what we did in ACU thanks to the next-gen possibilities. Yes, that's the question. So first is escape reality and what we can call believable world. In a way, we can speak about realism. In a way, what we did in ACU, we used to call that stylized realism. So it's close to reality. It gives the impression that it's realistic. The key element is really the believable aspect of the world. So first point is really, so it's a really graphical point. It's really the light and the details. I apologize for the quality of the projection because I took a lot of screen capture, game capture, and I tried to put them on the screen in order to show you what it can do in the screen. So light and details. So obviously, I think you all seen the videos and the demos of SEU. We spend a lot of time on light, a new system of lighting, and we spent a lot of time, and that's thanks to the possibilities of the next gen on the details, so the representation of the details. Each element is very, very, very detailed, and you will be able to see in the game that each statue, each character, everything, a door, a window, everything in the game has very high granularity in terms of details. It's very important, and adding the light and the realistic aspect of the light create a very realistic aspect of the world that you can believe. So it's the first point. The second point is obviously the people in the game. We display a lot of people. It's really it's more than hundreds of people in the game, and all the time in the street. You will see it in the game. It's really thousands and thousands of people. So when you cross streets that are in the center of Paris, of course, you can see people all the time, everywhere. Each person is different. Each person has specific animations, has specific behaviors. You can interact with them. What you can do in this game, and it's really thanks to the next generation because we can stock a lot of animation, we can display a lot of things. It was not really possible on the previous gen. You can just stay in the street or go on a roof and observe the street and what happened in the street. You can observe the crowd and see the life and the breathing aspect of the city. So it makes, obviously it makes the world very believable. Next slide is still people, but this time is the massive crowd aspect. So you can obviously see that it's a game capture. This is a mission in the game, close to the end of the game, where we display more than 10,000 NPC in the game. So if you turn the camera, you can still see people on the left. So people everywhere. Obviously, it makes the revolution credible. It makes the world credible. you want to go down and move inside, and you can observe the details and the realistic aspect of the things. People are moving. It's a screenshot, so they are not moving, but they move. They all have their own behaviors. So of course it creates a high level of believability in the world. Next aspect is the real size scale. So in this AC, it's the first one, we have a scale which is the real scale, so it's 1:1. Obviously, it makes the entire world more realistic. The size of the buildings, the size of the streets, the size of the city, the whole city, is really bigger and feels really natural and really realistic. So it pushes us to change the navigation system. As you can see, it's quite chaotic roofs, and that's why we needed to push the navigation system and improve it. What it allows also to have this new scale, as you can see on the bottom right, is the seamless interiors. So for the first time in AC, you don't need to load the interior of a landscape or any building. Now you can enter or go outside seamlessly. Lot of elements. This feature and all the previous feature, I mean, this feature was, yes, it was possible on the previous gen, but if you did that on the previous gen, your game would have been centered around this feature, and you can forget the others. Thanks to the next gen, what we can do is an addition of all those kinds of features, and then it makes the entire experience totally different. So it's not what the next gen brings to the open world is not a kind of disruptive new super impressive feature. It's an addition of really great features that you can have at the same moment in the whole open space, in the whole open world. And it allows you to create a new experience. So obviously, when we speak about believable worlds, it's really a very interesting feature. Of course, now you can enter and exit. Of course, it's more believable in terms of world. Then it creates a better immersion. So that was for the believable aspect of the world. Second being the curiosity. And when I speak about curiosity, it's I would say two axes. First one being the exploration aspect. Second one, so exploration aspect is really what is in this world, what I can do, what I can see in this world. Experimentation is more the toy aspect, so it's more the systemic aspect and the fact that you can try different interactions, you can do an interaction and then do another interaction above and see what will happen because you don't know before what's going to happen. So in terms of exploration, I really apologize for the projection. You can't see a lot. First point is really when we speak about exploration, it's really linked to the first point, but we have a lot of different ambiances in Paris. We have only one very, very big city, which is Paris, French Rêve, but we have a lot of different districts and we have a lot of different ambiances. So going to this kind of very dark places, not easy to see, very sunny places, very underground, etc., etc. So it's really, because with that, it's really something that pushes the player to explore. And in the gameplay, we secure the fact that for any, I would say, kind of mysterious place that you can encounter in the world, we put a reward, we put something to find and which is interesting for the player. 360 approaches, wow, that's a big topic. So when I speak about curiosity, I speak also about freedom for the player. So what we do on this assassin is we go back to the first AC and the fantasy of the first one. So what we do is we give you the red point is your final target. That's the guy you need to assassinate. He's inside the building, he's inside Notre Dame. What we do is we give you the final objective, and then it's up to you to find your solution. Find your way. You can go by the main door, you can probably find a window. We have, you can see the white point. This is a scripted event. We have another scripted event on the other place. There's a cemetery on the other side. You can find a crypt, and you can go by the crypt to enter inside. Well, there's tons of ways to enter. And when we speak about 360 approach, so it means no more linear checkpoints that you have to do in order to reach the final objective. It's final objective and do your own, explore, experiment, find your way. It's not only geographic, it's also the way you will do, in fact, the type of interaction you will use in order to kill the target. This aspect is also, which is quite important in terms of curiosity. You have a lot of things to do in co-op. You can, yes, we have co-op missions in the game that are inside the world. So it's not maps that you have to load. It's directly, it's seamless, it's inside the world. So you find the mission giver, you just click and you're in the mission. You can also invite friends or players in your world, and then you can do what you want in the world. So in terms of curiosity, it's always very interesting to see what players will do, because they will find their own fun in the world. So allowing the fact that players can do what they want totally freely in the world is also something which pushes the curiosity. Factions and reaction systems. You can see dead people in the ground. So the way we worked on the factions is different than the previous. This on ACU, what we did is that previously we had a character-centric type of system. Today we don't have a character-centric reaction system. So what it means is that the factions will interact one with the other without the need of the player. So what happened is that the red guys are the extremists, so they are the bad guy. The blue guys are the police, and you have the crowd. That's the three main factions that we have in the game. The bad guys often harass people in the street. The blue guys, as soon as they see illegal actions in the street, will act. Of course, they are the police, so they will stop the action. And some people in the crowd sometimes will respond to the harassment, the red harassment, and a fight can start. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they just unsheath their weapon, and it's enough for the police to interact. So, at first, to capture this screen, I wanted to launch a conflict between the red and the blue. The time for me to set up the windows and the capture screen, etc., etc., the conflict started by itself, and they were dead. It was too late for me, but it's something that happens all the time in the world. When I say all the time, it's not at each corner of the street, but you don't know when it's going to happen. So, yeah, and it's also something that you can, I would say, provoke. It's something that you can play with. It's one of the main aspects of the toy. If I do a comparison, it's in the same spirit than the Tiger in Far Cry 3. If you remember the Tiger and what we can do, because it's something that can help you, but not always. You know that you know what it's going to happen, but not very precisely. You don't know exactly the consequences. It's the same for us. Just go in the street and you will see fights happening, and you don't know what's going to happen. So for sure, it pushes for experimentation, because you want to understand what happens, how it works, and you want to, as a player, because you have obstacles and missions, so objectives, you want to better understand the system, and you want to take the benefits of the system in order to help you win the mission. So this slide is really a way to, it's an example of how you can experiment things in the world. So I've just explained the faction. In the game we have what we call bombs or tools that you can throw. So the blue circle is the area of effect of the bomb. So obviously I went on a high point. You have the blue guys on the bottom, and you have the red guys. What I did was I threw a cherry bomb. So for French people it's pétard, les pétards. The idea is that it attracts people. So red guys won't move, blue guys will move, and just to investigate and understand what happens, because they hear a noise and then they go to investigate at the point. So as soon as the blue guys move to the center, what I did was I launched a poison gas. So you can see the area of effect, which is smaller than the previous one. So launching the poison gas will, of course, remove life for all people inside the area. So what they did was, I don't know if you can see very well, but you can see the life gauge of the NPCs. What it means is that it started an aggression for the NPCs. And after that, because the aggression was started by the poison gas in the mind of the NPC, red guys thought police has started the conflict, blue guys thought that the red guys has started the conflict, and at the end they killed, everybody was killed. Well, maybe one left, I don't know. But if I wanted to enter in Notre Dame, so that's the front door, if I wanted to enter, it would have been impossible for me to enter because too much guys on the enter. I will die, for sure I will die. And if I don't die due to the red guys, the blue guys will finish me for sure because I enter a conflict. So it's a clever way to kill everybody, to clear the path, and then to enter in Notre Dame. It's precisely the type of experimentation that you can do. It's only 2 tools that I used. We have a lot of tools. You can mix them the way you want. Just mix them with the NPC and the faction system and everything in the world, and you can discover a lot of things. And for that, just before, attends un petit peu, I have a video. We have skills also, and we have a disguise skill. So you can take the appearance of any NPC in the world. And this shows how you can try things. In a way, it breaks the system, but it's really experimentation. For sure, we will have those kinds of video on the net very soon. But it's quite funny, you see. So it's just to demonstrate the fact that we have a lot of tools that you can try in the way you want, and at the end, it's going to produce results that we don't know exactly ourselves, I mean, as developers, what it's going to produce. And we know that it's super key today for players to have those kinds of tools and possibilities. And it's super key in an open world today. Okay, next axis, which is what I call the progression. So I spoke about progression is either player progression or world progression, and when we speak about an open world, both are very important. So it's related often to challenge and customization. I start with challenge. So challenge is not obviously something that is linked with the fact that you have a next-gen possibilities or not. But it's something that we had to work on a lot because we needed to inject the main axis of the world types of progression, including world progression and player progression. So what we did is that we changed the core loop, which was before, which was very rush and kill. So now what we did was we make the fight harder in order to break the dominant choice of the fight in ACU, pushing you to go to the stealth aspect of the game, giving you new tools like covers, crouch, stealth navigation, LKP, etc., etc. So what it provides to us is deeper possibilities in the challenge, allowing us to have a longer and more interesting progression in the whole game. So it's the starting point of all the progression system. That's why I'm speaking about that. It's not next gen, but it's the condition to create the other progressions. That's the world map we have in the game. And because we worked on the challenge, what we created was a difficulty system. So we have 5 levels of difficulty, 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, etc. And the difficulty systems is spread in the world, on the NPC also, but in the world. So we have different districts, as you can see in the world. The colors are the level of difficulty of the district dynamically displayed depending on the level of the player. So if I go on a red district, it's going to be very hard for me to play on this district. The green, it's not easy to see the colors, but the green district is really at my level. It's where I can play correctly. If I want to explore the rest, I can, but it's going to be hard for me, and all the NPCs I'm going to encounter will probably be at a level too high for me. And you can see the ranking of the, I don't know what the cursor is on the map, but it's there. So this district is 4-star difficulty, and if I go there, it's going to be too difficult for me. So obviously what we did is that we spread the difficulty system inside the world, creating a progression possibility inside the world. We keep the reach high point system and the loop of the system because when we speak about a world and the progression of a world, what you want to do as a player is clear the world. So what you want to do is, I want to start with the first district, I'm going to identify all the activities I can do, I'm going to do them, and then it's mine. It belongs to me. I've done everything in this district. Now let's go to the other. And then you have a kind of gauge, and you can see, you can measure the progression that you have in the world. And it's something which is very important for the players. That's why we did it this way, in order to make it very easy to read and understand. It's a very classical way, but it's very important in open world. So on the map you saw the icons of birds. It's all the reach high points in the game. I think you already know the reach high point system. I'm just gonna explain it now. What we did is that we've kept the reach high point system, but we had a layer on the system. In an open world, what happened is that the world is so vast, there are so much possibilities that if you let players do what he wants without guidance, he's going to be lost after 30 minutes. He's going to try things. After 30 minutes, you don't know what to do now. So you need to be guided, and so you need to create patterns for the player in order to make him understand what's the loop and how we can clear the world one district after the other. That's why we have the reach high point system. So the reach high point system is I need to go on the top of Notre Dame, so I climb. Then I synchronize. Synchronize means that I'm going to reveal all the activities around Notre Dame, so in the district of Notre Dame. And then it's up to me to play them or not. Maybe I can go to the next district and do the other reach high point, or I don't know what. Player do what they want. Previously, synchronizing on a reach high point gave you all the activities. So it displayed, it unlocks everything in the district. What we did now is that we unlock only half. Well, we display. It's not unlock. We display only half of the possibilities. So what we do, that's the zoom on the map. What we do is that I've just done my reach high point, and we display for sure the main mission of the story. We display all the chests because chests are very important in the game because they contain money. And money will allow you to buy equipments, and with new equipments you'll be stronger than in front of difficult NPC. It's going to make sense for you. So you need equipment, meaning that you need money, meaning that you need to go to the chest. So because we create the need for players, just doing the reach high point, revealing the chest, will push players to go to the chest. So we reveal the chest, we reveal the shops, the stairs to go to the undergrounds, and we reveal this is the first heist of the game, so it's kind of co-op missions. And that's it. It's only what we reveal. After that, if you want to reveal all the side quests and all the collectibles that are in the world, and there's a lot, you need to walk on the street, and everything around you in 30 meters around you will be revealed because it's close to you, and it's going to stay on the map, and after that, it's up to you to do that. It's the only way to reveal them. You can't do that on the reach high point. So what we did was, you did the reach high point, you reveal what you need to progress in the gameplay, we don't reveal what you need to explore deeply the city. You just have to walk in the city. If you want to explore the city, just walk, go to the unique points, and you will reveal everything in terms of exploration. Just do the side quest, and you will explore a lot of the cities because they are all linked with the real history of Paris, and all the side quests are between 5 and 25 minutes, depending on the level. And we have close to 2,000 side quests to do, so it's a lot. Player progression, so obviously I think we all know what it means. It means customizing your player, buying equipment, being stronger, so you can buy the hood, the chest, the sword, etc., etc. What's important is that yes, it makes you stronger. So in front of the difficulty, now you are at the you can be at the good level. So yes, it's important. But the other aspect is that you can choose your play style because we have different play style. That's why I put this picture, which is a co-op picture. But we want to push the player to choose his best way. So you can be, depending on what you prefer, but you can play as a range, more range player play style. Maybe you can prefer to be a fighter and you want to fight all the time. Maybe you prefer to be kind of healer person. Well, there are several play styles. The player progression allows you to choose your style and equip what you want. And then in co-op, you can have different play style and mixed together, the group will be more efficient. And this is just an example to show you that equipment and progression equipment is done for player in terms of functions in gameplay in front of the difficulty and to allow players to play better together. But we also have the cosmetic aspect because you can choose colors the way you want. It's free, it's up to you. And you can really find very funny stuff in the game and really craft your appearance the way you want. That's just an example and a funny example. So, as a conclusion, that's the 3 pillars. And what I wanted to outline is that in every pillar, we pushed things thanks to the next gen because thanks to the addition of features that we can bring in the game, we were able to push each pillar more than in the previous AC. And at the end, we have a deeper curiosity because we have a better escape reality than realism. It creates a deeper immersion in the game. So in the open world, the fact that we have a real progression system with customization, the fact that you can experiment and find your own way in the world, it gives you more freedom than before. And because we have the challenge, the progression, and all this player story aspect that we push a lot, because you also have the world fiction and the hero fiction, it creates a better consistency between the two types of fictions and story. So at the end, was what we pushed on ACU and on the open world of ACU is that deeper immersion, better consistency, and more freedom. And that's it for now. In time, or close, I think.
Thank you, Marc. Now it's question time. Does anyone have any questions to kick off with?
Hi. Yesterday, Ubisoft revealed the Curse mission in Unity, where the protagonist is Sen in the middle of the 20th century during the World War II. Don't you think it contradicts a little bit your believable world approach?
Interesting question. No, because what we revealed yesterday is a very legacy type of missions because it's LGS. So it's really a one-way mission. Very impressive, very mise en scène. And it's in different time periods, yes. Obviously, we're in Paris, we're focusing on the French wave, but we wanted to provide other carte postale of Paris, and that's why we did the LGS. So it's really bits in the game that you can play. Yes, they are in the main story, So it's going to happen like this, and you've probably seen the video that has been linked yesterday. So you finish a mission, and then suddenly it happened, and you have to go on the portal, you have to jump on the portal, and then phew, you're on the temporal bridge, and you have to play this mission, but it's an LGS, so you have one pass. It's about 5-10 minutes approximately. You finish the LGS, then you're back in Paris in French Wave. And what is interesting is that it's very quick. It's very big acceleration in terms of rhythm. So it creates a new bit in the game at this precise moment. And because well, at the end, it's like any kind of story mission. So it's exactly inserted in the whole system.
Any other questions? Right.
Hi. Since the game is not player-centric, how do you maintain the balance between having a procedural world that lives without you and still have a good level design and pacing when the player is in missions and stuff like that?
It's not contradictory. It's only the way you think your systems. That's why we needed the difficulty system. Because yes, you can randomly generate NPC and fights and events that happen, but what you can control is that because we are in this district, we know the level of difficulty of the NPCs. So we know that, let's say this district is 3 stars of difficulty, then it's going to be populated with between 2 and 4 level of difficulty NPCs, mainly with 3 level of difficulty NPCs, so probably 80% of NPCs that are 3 level of difficulty, 3 stars, and 10% 2, 10% 4. And as soon as you know that, it's a rule, so it's inside the system. And after that, maybe the random, and you can control the random also, but maybe the random will generate a lot of 2 stars or maybe a lot of 4 stars NPC, but it's random, it's part of the random, it's part of the systemic aspect. Sometimes it's a benefit for you, sometimes it can be against you, but it's what makes the magical aspect of the system.
I should say that if any francophones want to pose their questions in French, I think I'm pretty confident that's going to work. So don't be shy if you just want to ask in French. Anyone else? No? Oh.
Ça marche.
Bonjour. Est-ce que c'est pas trop dur de faire justement un mode cohérent lorsqu'on est beaucoup de studios qui travaillent dessus? Je sais pas, vous êtes à peu près 7 ou 8 studios, et comment vous faites justement pour garder cette cohérence entre tous les studios?
I'm going to answer in English.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so the question was, how can you keep the consistency of the world, being several studios working on the game? That's it, huh? Okay. So we are more than 7 or 8 studios. It's difficult because obviously it's a massive team, and communication is always the key point and the harder element to manage in the dev. But really, we have process to do that. We define the way we work with the external studios. We call them external studios for sure. Montreal staying the lead. Is that we define mandates, and if a studio is very far from Montreal, we'll try to have a very encapsulated mandate. For example, the example of the temporal rift, the LGS, were done in Singapore, because as soon as you have defined the mandate, as soon as it's clear between us, then it's up to Singapore to make proposition, to work on it, and after that we are on iteration. But they are not in Montreal. They are not even in Canada, because Toronto is quite close. Quebec is at 2 hours by driving, so it's easy to iterate with them. But when you work with Singapore, you need to have a very encapsulated mandate. And that's the way we do, in fact. We define mandates, and depending on the proximity with the studio, the mandate is different. So we identify parts inside the game, inside the production. It's more parts inside the production. So you know that you have, I don't know, you have those type of reactions in terms of AI. You know that you can externalize that in this studio. It's really the way we work. May we have tools, we have process, we have dedicated producers. So it's really we need.